All right. So my fiance is watching one of the most boring movies I've ever seen in my life. Uh, I think it's called Sully or something. So in the meantime, I'm gonna play a nice 15 plus 15 game. So a nice real long game. So you enjoy that movie over there. I'm gonna play D4 as I always do, and let's get this going. All right. So we're gonna do Queen's Gambit. So he's got E6 or C6 or Queen's Gambit accepted. All right. My hope is that he does the B5, A4, C6. Oh, we're going into this line. Well, this is a lovely time to take a look at what we've learned in the isolated queen pawn structure. So we saw before in the other videos, the IQP, we had the pawn on the E file. Here it looks like they've got this pawn here. So again, I'm going to want to go for the D4, D5 when I'm developed and good to go. I'm assuming he's going to develop his bishop to try and castle, but I think knight BD7 be good. We have that one too. All right, I'm going to go ahead and continue castling. Although, do we have this tactic? Bishop takes check. If king recaptures, knight here check, and then recapture here, recapture there. Let's go ahead and try that. Looks fun. Oh, I think what we have, no, we don't have to worry about, there we go. Nice little tactic right there. All right. Okay. That's fine. Okay. So it looks like we are off to a pretty good start. I know it's 15 plus 15 game, but I mean, let's just take a look. We don't really need that much time. We only have a few possible moves, so it doesn't take much thought. I can move my queen here, and drops a queen. Move my bishop to E3, which is what I'm thinking. Or I could move my king, but that seems ridiculous to just move king when I could just go ahead and block this check right here. So, and then we'll go ahead and castle. I don't know if we should castle. I'm going to castle kingside, but yeah, this is a just great position. Up a pawn. The pawns are going to drop real soon. Undefended pawn, undefended pawn. This, if they move their queen off these squares, yeah. So, okay.
They did not run a check. They did not switch on the APs. They had all the same parameters. No one said he was going to lose both engines on lower altitude and any jet in history. But he could make a left turn for the water, going back to pick up the money. This was dual agent loss and created to be followed by immediate water riding with 155 souls on board. No one has ever trained for an incident like that. No one.
So I think I'm going to drop my queen back to e2, potentially getting this check right here and picking up this bishop, also putting pressure here. I'm not worried about any discoveries because my queen will be pinned. The bishop will be pinned, but I'm not too concerned about it.
How much time did the pilot spend planning for these simulations?
Let's go ahead.
We were looking for human error. Then make it human.
Okay, so let's take a look. Do we have anything to worry about with this bishop sacrifice?
So he's right, that's what he says. Please ask how many practices.
17. The pilot who landed at Teterboro had 17 practice attempts before this information was released.
The reaction is that we said 35 seconds. 35 seconds. We only had 208 seconds for it, so I'll take it. Well, like, turn to Laguardia. Now then added 35 second delay response.
So I'm thinking if we get this bishop sacrifice, king takes, knight takes. No, knight can't take. We've got this queen right here. So this bishop sacrifice isn't anything we have to worry about. I would like to continue development with my rook over here. Either grab this semi-open file or grab this open file. Start putting pressure down on the queen. I would love a queen trade. I would go into a in-game in my favor. Also, let's see, I have this check right here. I'm going to go ahead and take this check. Let's threaten this queen. So this will cut off the king's escape routes. We have the queen coming in right here. This is looking very nice. All right. I'm going to centralize my rooks. Okay. So it's clear this is the tactic they're going for, where they will grab the bishop. Not too entirely concerned of it. I think h3 stops it. Yeah, you go ahead and do h3. So now it looks like he's got two pieces under attack. If he recaptures here, I'm planning on taking with the rook.
see what could have happened. Listen to what actually did. We will look at all the results later. Was it?
For the record, this is the CDR and US Airways Flight 15.
So this is a fun little trick. I think we can trap the bishop in here with g3. Bishop takes, rook takes, or we could even recapture here. Yeah, it's not looking too hot. I can also, once it's all said and done, pin the queen right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, I do have to be worried that my queen is hanging. But it's not too much of a concern. Okay. Now, it would be lovely if I could pin the queen to the king. I don't see that happening. I do see this double attack right here, though, however, with my knight protecting this piece and hitting the queen, keeping tempo on it. I think that's a good move right there. So, excuse me, knight e4, protecting this, and this piece is still under attack, so I'm going to go ahead and try for that. That also defends my queen at the same time, which is pretty nice. So this is just pretty straightforward. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at the threats. None really. I'm assuming they're going to try and bring the rook over here and attack that, but I do have this pawn push protecting that. I could also double the rooks here. They are attacking this pawn, but taking that protects it, so. Okay. Now I would like to force a queen trade, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I have two options of recapturing, either through here or drop the queen. All right, so if they don't resign, I don't know what I can do to get them to resign. Proponent proposes a take back. Just to be nice, although we should have resigned at the pawn tactic in the beginning. No. Okay, wait, so there we go. Okay, so now I have a few options here. I have either the rook or the knight right here. The knight, I am threatening this pawn. There's no real fork here. I do like the rook lift because I can start squeezing my opponent. It gives me a little bit more flexibility. Not quite seeing anything one way or the other really decisive. I'm just going to go ahead and do this rook lift. I don't think it's doing much on the back rank. Also, if he brings his rook here, I can simply block with this, get this pawn here. All right. So, not too concerned about that. He should, however, be more concerned about me taking the 7th rank here. So, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting his king off and start going for checkmate. Okay. So I think we have a nice little tactic here with this knight fork on the king. If the pawn recaptures, we gain the rook. So here we go. Okay. I don't. How does he want me to end this? I'm not sure. Let's see. All right. This king move right here, of course, prevents the rook from coming down to these squares right here. I guess I could start pushing this pawn up here, going for a fork. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take all of his pawns and kind of make him suffer a little bit. So go ahead and allow us to bring this pawn here and bring that behind it. All right.
That is honestly the first time that I listened to a crash course while actually sitting with the captain of the first officer. It's extraordinary. That was no situation. No, it wasn't.
All right.
I want to inform you that the left engine has been cut. We just received a conference report. There was extensive of writings and
Let's see if I can take all of his pieces without stalemating him. It's going to be tough. I think we can do it. So I think one of my opponent's problems is that he played way too quickly. I mean, I was also playing really rapidly, but I had a lot of moves that were just too good to pass up, and it didn't really require much more examination. So let's see. Let me see. How do I?
I disagree. It wasn't just me, it was all of us. Suggesting Dr. Chamberlain during all of that. Rescue workers. They're asking for.
All right. So I guess we just wait now. I wonder what he's going to do. All right, let's go ahead and claim our victory. So let's take a look at the analysis board. It's my my puppy, my cat in the background. So So actually, before we request a computer analysis, I'd like to just go through this myself. Okay. Let's take a look at this game. So we had a Queen's Gambit accepted. And with this E4 strike, so a lot of times in the Queen's Gambit line, black is looking for either C5 or E5. This strike directly is trying to give white an isolated queen pawn. That's something that we've been studying over the past couple of days, so I'm not too concerned about it. Felt fairly comfortable going into an IQP position, kind of knowing the ideas. Now, this is a move that is unfamiliar to me. It didn't seem, I've never seen it before, or I've seen it before, but it just didn't look correct. So the whole idea that I had was I have this bishop sacrifice here with this knight follow-up, and I didn't really ever have to worry about the queen recapturing that pawn at any point. That's one of the things that I was worried about initially, but looking at it quickly, at no point can the queen recapture, because I have this queen recapture at almost every point. So let's see. Bishop takes, king takes, knight takes, and then we have a double attack on this bishop. And this is with tempo on the king. So that's why it works without losing my queen. And even if the queen, there's at no point do I have any risk of losing that, because this still has pressure on the bishop on g4. So that's what that idea is. I'm not sure if it works. We'll take a look at the engine evaluation. Also, this move, there's no concern. Knight here, even if it recaptures with check, now we just have a better pawn structure. Our pawns, this b pawn becomes more centralized. It supports this pawn. We have a million ways of supporting it with either bishop on b2, d2, rook coming to c1. We don't really have anything to worry about. Also, this king now is trapped in the corner. We get to bring a rook over, cut his king's access off. So the queen's on the board, so we have this idea of a queen check here, picking up that king, since this doesn't do anything, that doesn't block it. So where we're at. Let's take a look at the analysis board. So I think that's kind of, I mean, normally you'd analyze where they went wrong, but I would say that he went wrong right out of the opening. So I would recommend taking a look at some openings. I know a lot of people, I'm not that good at chess. I'm still learning. I haven't played tournaments in years, but even still, I wasn't that strong in tournament chess. However, a lot of people suggested not learning openings. However, if you can't get out of the opening, then you can't actually ever play chess or use your tactics or do anything like that. So at the very least, you should openings just to get like the first couple moves and kind of understand the general motifs, the ideas of what you want to do, where you want to place your pieces, ideally how you want to respond to certain things. That's again why I like the book Chess Structures, Flores Rios. It's fantastic because it does that in just general terms. If you have this sort of pawn structure, put your pieces here, you want this sort of pawn break. You have a general idea of what you're striving for, and in the meantime, you're looking at tactics. I also love studying openings too, just because they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to study. It's fun to know the best possible move, to be able to study that and then see why, like understand why it's the best possible move. It's I don't know, it's enjoyable. A lot of people don't like studying openings, but I do. So I would recommend at the very least you take a look at Queen Gambit accepted lines, and see what the response is to this. So let's take a look. Analysis board. So I had 2 blunders, mistake, 1 inaccuracy. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. So this all seems standard. Okay, so yeah, this is a blunder. Let's turn on the engine, see what it recommends. Yeah, recommends this. Picks up a piece right away. So this is why it's always important to study tactics, so you can notice things like this. All right. So it looks like better to have picked up the bishop than to grab the knight. However, the reason that I was more concerned about the knight is I didn't want to deal with, say queen here check, king to f8, queen takes, bishop b4. Then I don't want to deal with queen to h4, and that it's not a mate threat, but that's going to be devastating for me. I can't castle because then I have checkmate. I didn't think that having my king in the center and allowing the queen to come in was the best idea, but I'm guessing that the computer says so. Oh, I guess I picked this up with check. That's why the best is to. Okay. I guess that's why, but I didn't calculate that far ahead. So that's an interesting line. Take a look at. So this queen, bishop blocks, castles, back. So it looks like better would have been to just pile up on the open e file and add pressure. But again, I was hoping for a queen trade. So is this? I never know which rook to. Okay, looks like it switched to the rook that I used. It's always hard to tell which rook to use. I generally have the rule of anything on over e through h would be the pawn on or the rook on h I would bring over, unless there's some reason, like say I wanted to pile up on, do a minority attack here and bring this rook here, but typically that's just the way that it works. It seems to work out for me fine. I know that's not a good enough explanation. At some point I'll have to figure it out. So queen there. Bring the rook over, centralize the rook. So it recommends instead of this rook c1. Oh no, it changed its mind. It likes that now. Okay. Again, like that. Yeah. So that was just a blunder right there. So it liked pawn recaptures. It defends that central pawn. I'm not sure why, so let's take a look at what it wants to do. Bring this back. I guess it opens the file. It opens the file on the king. That's a good point. All right, interesting, but I didn't see that at the time. Maybe I should have. One more time. I have no idea what line we're looking at right now. Okay. King h1. Again, blunder right here. Should have gotten the bishop out. Instead. So this would have been a crushing move right here. Knight to e4. Let's take a look at that. Knight e4. So what happens if we do this? I guess it's just lost. Forced mate 16. All right. Well, so let's take a look. Instead, I played. G6, which this is still completely winning, just not the most precise way. 12, yeah. I'm fairly happy with how I played from this point on. Although it's not like in the queen trade. However, I'd rather just go into a completely winning in-game where I don't have to think or do anything. So I did like the rook. This is crushing. 51.2, 11.8. Game over. Like that little tactic. There we go. That's it. Good game. Good game. All right. You guys have a good night.